Yeah.
It's the future, is it?
It's the future.
Have you tasted it?
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like garlic bread.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the International Centre right here in Telford. We are here for the UK Dairy Day event, and as such, obviously, we're LandPowerTV. We're focused on the machines and the farm technology, so that's what we've come for. We're going to get stuck in, see what's what, have a look at some of the latest developments and what's on offer. But before we crack on, I should mention these guys. I'm not going to pronounce your name because I've already been told off once, so go on, Dave.
Société Générale Equipment Finance.
There you go.
Pleasure to be here with you today, James, and look forward to a great day, looking at what's new in the sector of dairy and looking forward to the future.
So, for you guys that don't know, I mean, hopefully you can tell by now with the sponsorship logos that are flashing away, these guys are big partners of ours, one of our valued partners, and they've kindly asked me to share their stand today. So, we'll catch up with these guys in a bit towards the end of the day, see how they've got on, but for now, we're going to get stuck into a bit of machines, so we'll crack on. Right, ladies and gents, so we'll kick off on the Shelbourne stand, obviously distributed in the UK by Opico, and I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the man himself, Mr. David Main. So you may recognise David from one of our previous videos with the Shelbourne forage wagon, the review that we did on that. David did a cracking walk around on the wagon, so if you've not seen it, go check that one out. But we're here at the dairy event today, Dairy UK, and we're talking all things, well, diet feeders. So David, what have you got on offer today? What are you showing off?
Yeah, so today we've got the Vertimix 2401 spec'd up as a 19 cube machine, so without the extensions on the top, because as you know, we're a Stroutman diet feeder. We have the crimped edge and we've got a modular design, so we can go from a 19 cube, 21.5 cube up to a 24 cube on the base model,
right,
as a 24, so we can have three models within the one range. So
it's like a flexible spec you can just keep
exactly.
building on.
So if you had a lower cow number, 19 cube to start with, and you wanted to increase your herd size, we've got the chance to add the extra capacity to the top as a modular design rather than changing the full wagon.
And just talk us through some of the features on this machine.
Yeah, so as we say, Vertimix and all our diet feeders on the base model, singles and doubles, will have the crimped edge, so that gives us the structure in the whole tub. And that allows us to add extensions to the top, where obviously some of the competition, one size is all you can do, so you need to change the diet feeder if you want to increase your size or decrease your size. Diet feeder, this one here comes with an 8mm thick wall, which is an S250 grade, ST52 grade steel, which is designed to flex, but it is strong, durable for what the diet feeder needs to do. Comes with a 20mm floor. And we've got loads of options, as we can have stainless steel inserts, not common for us. We don't have the wearing issues. We have the augers which are matched to the tub size. So each diet feeder has its own specific auger.
Right.
So we get maximum mix due to the auger, not due to the speed the auger drives. Because one thing you'll find on a Vertimix is we do the mixing at a reduced speed. So the mixing auger gives us the increased speed of mix due to we've got a stepped auger. So rather than the feed continuously being spiraled up a continuous auger, our feed rolls. So
okay, so
a
it
lot
kind
less,
of tumbles.
Yeah, so far less horsepower requirement on our diet feeders compared to some of the competition.
What sort of horsepower requirement are we talking for?
You could run a 2401, you could possibly run on a 120 horsepower, 110, 120 horsepower tractor.
Yeah.
And like I say, it'll take 10, 12 tonne, depending on mix consistency.
Yeah.
So yeah. One of the other things with this is we've got a 2401 sitting here, 19 cube. We do change the volume of weigh cells that's fitted to our machines. So we have singles which will run 3 or 4 weigh cells. We'll have a double which will run 4 or 6 weigh cells, and the triple will run 8 weigh cells. So the bigger the mixer, the more contact points we have to the chassis, which gives us far more a steady reading on the weigh system. Another thing that does increase that stability is we have a welded structure along the full length of the tub, and then that's mounted through the weigh cells to the chassis as well, so it's rigid on the bottom, so we don't get any rolling of the floor and no extra strain on the actual gearbox mounts. We also have the V conveyor sitting on the front, which will slide left and right, and also come up at a 55 centimetre height difference from the floor, the bottom floor.
So it'll slide out and sort of
so
go up
it,
as well?
it comes along and then it lifts itself up. So it'll slide out about 22 centimetres, then it'll lift about 55. And that'll go left and right on that. We can have door options every corner. We can have Danish doors on the back so it feeds out behind the wheels, or we can have a pre-mix door, so if people's doing a mix they can dump it out the rear.
Yeah.
All door positions can have a conveyor mounted on different lengths also. We can go back to the conveyor at the front, we can have a standard cross conveyor in a fixed position, or we can have a sliding cross conveyor. Moving to the front, we've got a 2-speed gearbox option, which can be done electronically controlled through the control box as well, or it can be a cable control, depending on how you want to spec up. And
you can just knock that up or down.
Yeah, so stop the gearbox, so you stop the augers, change the gear into a high or a low, and then start the gearbox again.
Got you.
But up to about 7 tonne you can run it on high, and then obviously depends, you don't want to over process, so you've always got the option of the lower speed. Axles, we can have tandem, single, we can have tandem steering. Options on this, we can have on the triple, we can have a tandem axle steering, or we can have a triple axle. So, like I say,
again, just
built to order. It's not something that everybody's going to have on the shelf and for every customer. So
that's it.
Definitely loads of options.
Sound. And then you just mentioned the technology on the front there. What's there?
Well, on the system, for the weigh system, which works with our weigh cells, we come standard with a PTM HL50 control box, which is a programmable weigh system, but it's not. There's no data transfer within that box. If you wanted to, you can increase that to a PTM Super Advanced box, which then you can have a Wi-Fi to computer in the office and USB downloadable, so everything can be done on that.
So full-on diet management.
Yeah, exactly. So all herds and that can be done all remotely as well. One thing we also offer, and what we've got on display today, is the Cow Connect system. So that'll work with any weigh system on any diet feeder, which has its own computer program, which is separately controlled by Cow Connect on their own. So they manage all that, and you can have unlimited amount of devices connected at once. So we've got tablets on there on display, but we can also get it on mobile phones or anywhere. It's all cloud-based, so very easy to work.
Spot on. Well,
okay.
David, thank you very much for your time.
No problem, James.
Perfect.
No problem. Thank you.
Right, ladies and gents, we're now on to the Shelbourne Reynolds stand to see what these guys have got on offer. So I'm with Edwin Cartwright, who's basically going to talk us through a couple of the machines. Well, we'll start with this one, Edwin. One of your diet feeders.
Yeah, one of the diet feeders. This is the top of the range really of what we do. This is the biggest one. We run a range right through from 30 cube, which is this one, right down to 9. Different configurations. You've got single axles, you've got twin tubs, single tubs, but basically a machine right through for somebody that's feeding maybe 50, 60 cows, right up to somebody that's feeding 3.5, 4, 5,000 that wants to do lots of loads. The key thing really on this machine is obviously it is fully lined. You can see the lining up there. That means that there's a Hardox lining in this machine that can be removed and bolted in, so as you get wear later on in life, it's fully replaceable. And also the elevator, this allows you not only to feed on the floor, but you can feed into troughs, you can feed into ring feeders. It elevates left and right, and so makes it very, very universal where it is. So yeah, this is the top of the range. When you go down to the single tub machines, then basically then you hit something like a 9 cube, which will go on the back of an 80, 90 horsepower tractor.
Yeah, just a nice handy unit.
Nice handy unit, that's exactly right. All fundamentally do the same job. You just get more in a bigger one.
So just different scales, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then the other machine we've got here at the moment is the cubicle bedder. Very popular, a very, very work-saving machine, because when you're bedding cubicles up, the last thing you want to be doing, particularly with sand, is shoveling it in by hand.
Absolutely.
Well, with the cubicle bedder, of course, it'll go onto a telehandler, it'll go on a loader, it'll go on a back of a tractor, whichever you want, and allows you then to load sand, shavings, ash and lime paper, chopped straw. It doesn't really matter.
So it just fill itself and away you go.
And it just beds the cubicles in minutes, and that's a real massive time saving.
And what sort of capacity is that one there?
That one there's a 300, so that one would hold about, it's on sand you'd be nearly 2 ton probably, and we go down to like a 100, which is ideal for loaders, small telehandlers, your skid steers, that sort of thing. Built the same belt, same drive, same everything, just smaller. And then the popular one, which is the 150, and that's for your medium-sized machines, your telehandlers, bigger tractors, that sort of thing. And then the 300, which goes on to your primarily, telehandlers and that sort of thing. So
that's it. Spot on.
Yeah.
And then just coming back to this machine, are there any sort of features, standout features worth shouting about?
Yeah, there are really. It's really the way that these things work, and there's a lot obviously that happens inside there. And basically, what this machine does is anything that's got to be processed, it takes into the centre. And of course, in the centre where you have 2 augers travelling in the same direction, of course, then the blades cross. And that's where you get your chopping thing. You get a proper mix in action. That's exactly right. And of course, with a front door and visibility cut out here, so as you can see what you're actually doing. There's nothing worse than using a machine and all you can see is what's coming off the elevator. What you really want to see is what's coming out that door. And of course, you can control that. It's wirelessly controlled. It's got an electric gearbox on it. So everything can be controlled from one handpiece, or on this case, this one's directly coupled to a tractor. So somebody that says, I've got 4 spools, I don't need anything additional.
Keep it all a little bit simpler.
Exactly right. Exactly
so how many
right.
speed gearbox is this one on?
This one's got a 2-speed gearbox on here. So you run obviously 2 main gearboxes on there, and then electrically then you can reduce the speed of the augers, because once you get a machine of this size loaded up with 15, 16, 17 ton, the actual mixing process is not too bad. But when you then drive it and it all settles in the tub, to physically start it can sometimes be quite difficult. So in that case, you have an electric gearbox, you can reduce it down, it starts easy, you can feed most of that out, and then all you've got to do is put it back into high again at the end. So it's all relatively straightforward, but other than that, it's building these things out of the right components. There's a lot of hardox that's used in there. It's got a parabolic axle, and this one's obviously on a steering axle, so it follows it's very, very good for getting into tight buildings and stuff, which of course a lot of these older farms were never designed for.
Well, that's it, yeah. The entrances are still the same, but the machines have got bigger,
Exactly right. So as long as you can fit it in height-wise, then this machine usually will go in there. So, it's just a nice, simple, easy machine to use. They say it's got a 1-piece belt on it, so this one here there's no joiners. One of the things that can fail on a belt like that is where you physically join the belt together. We've taken that out of there. And with a sprocket type drive in there, it doesn't matter whether this motor is pushing or pulling. It's actually a sprocket drive, so it's a positive drive. And it's self-tensioned on the belt, so you don't even have to do that.
Forget that one.
A little bit of grease in there and you're away, exactly right. So that's the machine, and as you say, we're here at the Telford Dairy Show, and it's been very good so far. Been quite busy, and hope to see a few more people as well.
That's it, perfect. Edwin, thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
Nice one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Right, ladies and gents, we're now on to the other half of the Opico stand, where it's got a varied lump of equipment, and I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Nick Ryder, who's going to talk us through it. We're going to focus on the sword lifter
today.
So Nick, what have we got on show today?
Right, this is the Shelbourne sword lifter. We developed this probably almost 20 years ago now for decompacting grassland, helping with the fertility within the grass and water flow through the soil and through the substructure.
Yeah.
So we use a very strong ladder style frame with adjustable discs in the front to cut through the sward and through the root mat. So we're getting a nice line prepared then for the slim narrow leg with slim narrow point on. I don't advocate putting the wing point on.
Well, I was going to say, do you do various points?
We do various points. We do a wing point for it. I don't actually advocate that in grassland.
Right.
We're not looking to move everything across the full width of the machine. We're looking to leave a firmer anchor in between the 2 legs. So we're using a 90 centimetre leg spacing. We're moving a nice, good, big rugby ball shape, if you like, each side of the leg, leaving a firmer anchor in the middle. So with the structural integrity of the field is still there, so you can still drive on it,
Yeah.
still put the tanker out on it, still put stock out on
That's it. So you're not literally just lifting the lot and
Lifting
kind of
lot-
dropping the lot again.
we're not trying to. If we lift everything and drop everything, you'll either land up with a dead field or a floating field, effectively. So, and you could then, if you put the legs close together, you could almost roll it up like rolling turf up if
Yeah.
you've done it when it's too dry.
That's it. Because you see with some machines, you just get a complete wave as it's going on,
and then
don't you?
you go back to it and you find you've got a dead field. So it's to leave that structural integrity of the field there. So it's very rarely that I'd want to see the wing point put on it. I have got people put a wing point on it up in North Wales and they'll do their maize ground with it. Ostensibly though, this machine was designed for grassland, not for arable work. And then, so from the leg, slim narrow leg as I said earlier, with a reversible shin on the on it. It's got cheeks on the shin, so it's pushing the soil around the leg to protect the leg, and that shin is then reversible as well. Shear bolt is in there. The auto reset version now uses the same frame as this, obviously with the accumulator on there for the auto reset version. And then depth control is simple on these pins and the collar, and then that's followed by the star roller that's nipping the soil down just behind the leg there, and it's the reason we've used that instead of a full width roller. It's putting it down the pressure exactly where it's needed, so we're not getting any smearing of any soil across the full width.
So how many legs do you guys off? I mean, you got 3 on this one.
3 metre or 2.75. They're 90 centimetre leg spacings. We do wider machines, but really this is designed with the farmer in mind rather than the contractor in mind.
Yeah.
So it's designed as a farmer's machine, so this is by far the most popular seller.
Right, gotcha. And then obviously we're at UK Dairy Day, which is September. Is September a good time to be getting these machines out and looking at your
I found at the
grassland,
moment I've got a few new machines that I need to go and set off and just sort of go through so the farmer can get the maximum benefit out of the machine now he's made the decision to purchase it. I find at the moment the ground is probably a little bit too hard because we haven't had any rain.
Right.
Normally I would say, yeah, ideal time. But going into autumn now, we'll get a little bit more rain because the ground is very, very solid at the moment. So the ideal time to use it, really.
That's it. Perfect. And what sort of prices are we
Getting to the
talking?
ideal time.
And what sort of prices are we talking for this particular machine?
We have obviously retail prices, but the best thing to do is for a farmer to go to his local dealer for.
Give you a shout, see what's what.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Nick, thank you very much for your time. It's been spot on.
No, thank you very much.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Right, boys and girls, on to, well, some local lads for me. RE Building Stand, and I'm with Dave Easton, the main man.
Something like that.
He's going to talk us through, well, this latest development. I mean, for a start off, where's engine gone?
It's gone.
It's gone?
It's clear gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone electric.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the future, is it?
It's the future.
Have you tasted it?
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like garlic bread.
Right.
No, we've lost the engine, lost the diesel, lost the servicing.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just plug and play.
That's it. So, obviously you got your diesel version, which is just over there on stand. You're obviously still offering that.
We're still offering the diesel.
Still a popular thing.
It is.
And is it literally a case of engine out, batteries in?
Engine out, batteries in.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a look?
Yeah, go on, whip it up.
So basically, we've lost the diesel engine and we've gained 4 batteries.
Right.
Yeah, just 4 batteries, 4 12-volt batteries.
Yeah.
Running about 80 amps, something like that. So just a straightforward leisure battery.
Right.
You get about an hour and 20 off a full charge.
Yeah, if it was like constant use.
Constant use, and you've got full power at constant use.
Right.
And there's no dying off with them batteries.
No, because it'll just be all the torque
it's
all the time.
All and then nothing. So, but yeah, plug it in to charge between milkings. Yeah, off you go.
That's it. And I suppose for those boys and girls that are making their own electric, it's going to be spot on. It could be free running, isn't it?
Exactly. You've gone solar, you've gone wind.
Yeah. And there is, I mean, obviously from the electric point of view, there's a lot less maintenance, but obviously you'll still have a little bit of maintenance.
You have a little bit of maintenance. You've still got the hydraulics running the same hydraulics as the diesel option.
So there's like a little hydraulic motor on there.
It is, yeah, just at the front. So you've got your batteries running, your electric motor running the hydraulic pump.
Right.
It's the same pump. So nothing different to the diesel.
And drive to the wheels, that again, that'll just be its own motor.
Its own. No, it's own motors on each wheel, so single or 3-wheel drive.
Right. So is it electric straight to those, or is
No, it's hydraulic, so it's electric over hydraulic.
All right, so it's literally powering all the hydraulics, which still do what they did before.
Exactly, so you've
Got
just
you.
taken the diesel out and put the electric in.
Right, got you.
So, yeah, it's a good option. We've sold about 4 this time already.
All right.
So, yeah, even though it's a new thing, people are taken by it.
I was going to say, what's the sort of feedback been like on it?
Yeah, been very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, nobody's questioned the time that they've got to do the job.
Yeah.
So you're looking 150 cubicles, something like that, nice average size for this.
Yeah.
You're done in quarter of an hour.
Oh, well,
So
time to spare.
Time to spare. So, yeah.
That's it, and you know, you ain't got the air filters clogging up and
No
things
air
like
filters, keeping the service cost down. So it is a little bit more to buy than the diesel version,
Yeah.
but I think you'll save it over the time with the service
that.
cost.
So what sort of price are we talking for?
Starting from 15.8 up to 17,
Right.
depending on 3-wheel drive, single-wheel drive, galvanised, painted. There's a range in
So
there.
there's a fair few options.
There's a fair few options in
Right.
that, yeah.
So what sort of capacity is this?
You have a 500 litre tank.
Yeah.
Again, so about, we always say between 120, 150 cubicles per hopper full. We've had customers up to 300 cubicles.
Right.
So it is possible, but they're
Yeah.
3 times a day milking. So yeah, about 150 is normal.
That's it. Ideal. Well, I think probably soon after this we should get our hands on one and have a proper day.
Exactly, yeah, good idea.
Ideal. Well, Dave, as ever, thank
Yeah.
you very much for your time.
Thank
Spot
you.
on.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now joined by Jeffrey Wachs from Wachs Agri Services. So we're going to talk about your latest product, which is the Green Master. So I mean, Jeffrey, take it away.
So this is the latest offering from the company, Gutler, synonymous with the Prisma profile that we see here, which is the 50 centimetre ring, which we introduced many years ago, 30 years ago.
I was going to say it's been about.
Yeah, 30 years ago. And the Green Master for grassland management, overseeding and rejuvenation came out some 15 years ago by accident. And then the machine we have here was shown first at Agritechnica 2 years ago, and the main reason for bringing this forward is because of the patent on the new tine, so
Right.
hence the name.
So what does that sort of bring with it then?
So each tine has a pipe fitted down the back of the tine.
Right.
We can still adjust the rake of the tines and the depth of the tines via this top link here, and each tine then allows the seed to get a seed to soil contact. Then we can follow up with the roller behind it.
Right. So it's a lot more accurate than sort of previous sort of styles and
Yeah.
ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Which would have been just, was it little splash plates and
Yeah.
distributed across the full width?
Yeah, splash plates, 8 splash plates on 3 metres and 16 on 6 metres.
Yeah.
We still offer that version, and we go right up to 8 metres with that. But what will attract certain clients with the new tine seed version is a little more accuracy, seed to soil contact, and also more importantly, it's been accepted on the Welsh grant scheme as well.
Right.
And currently we hope that the English grant scheme will receive it as well, you know.
Ideal. And then I suppose being a little bit more accurate, can you save a bit of seed as well in terms of?
Yeah, I think that I think the opportunity is there to do that, but as well, one of the main reasons for this application as well, because there's so many small seed requirements now for old land meadows, flower mixes, a lot of cover crops and so on and so forth. It's just going to give us a little bit more accuracy to get the seed to the soil itself. We don't want to go any deeper than that. We're not looking to go 1.5 inches or 2 inches deep, just literally seed to soil contact.
You're just scratching away. And
yeah,
then,
that's right, yes, yeah.
That's it. And then obviously we can use it in grassland for rejuvenation.
Mm-hmm.
What other circumstances, situations can you use it? Can you go straight on top of some ploughing, for instance, as a reseed?
The Green Master's always been able to be worked in ploughed soil and such like, or semi-cultivated soil. This particular machine, we're running both a 3 metre and a 6 metre currently, and we've worked on sowing oilseed rape after barley stubbles, cover crops into barley stubbles, already small seeds into old land grass, burnt off grass. Pretty much any condition that you name it, we're working in and trying it in at the moment. Yeah,
that's it. And what sort of feedback been like so far?
The feedback is excellent at the moment. It's we've got to be very cautious about it. Anything new like this, people are always skeptical about it. There's always going to be people who want to punch a hole in it, and so therefore, but the feedback with us using it ourselves, we've done about 350 acres this autumn with a 6 metre version, so we're getting a good experience with it ourselves.
Right. So your 6 metre version, is that still a mounted machine?
No, it comes in. It's a mounted machine, but we run with a trailed roller, 2 versions, a master and a matador version. And they can be disconnected, so if the ground's too wet for rolling afterwards, we can do our seeding work and come back later on and do the rolling. Or if conditions are correct, we can go and do the rolling at the same time.
Right, so lots of flexibility built in.
Absolutely, and that's the key to it. Customers don't want to buy a one-trick pony. They want to cover so many bases because of the variations that are being dealt with at the moment.
Well, that's it. Just maximising the spend, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and spend is going to be a key word going forward. But we'd like to think that we give very, very good value for money, good longevity, and more importantly, a really good technical eco. Cultural solutions are what Gutler's always been known for.
That's it. So, I mean, just before we finish, just talk us through a few other little features, hopper sizes.
Hopper size is 410, 660, all with a hydraulically driven fan. And in this particular case, with the 660 hopper, the fan's been uprated to a twin pipe system. We're currently sowing anywhere between 0 and 25, 30 kilos an acre, which is your 45, 50 kilos a hectare. I envisage that after our experiences this autumn that we'll be also sowing grain, so 125, 150 kilos a hectare is where I would like to think we're going to get to,
Ideal. And then just looking at the front bar there, can you fit various tools, various attachments on that?
The machine comes standard with the tine seed, which is 2 rows of 12mm tine units, and then beyond that we're able to offer as an option a levelling bar on a parallelogram or a ripper bar, which has also got the short and long ripperboard tines patented, and the reason behind that is because they're a U-shape, a circular profile, so when you're working in grass it allows the material to clear, whereas our competitors would use a square-shaped profile which always has to be released because of the straw and chaff material gets wrapped.
It always has to sort of dance over it.
Yeah, it gets wrapped around the tines and such like.
Got you. There you go.
And then the machine comes standard with a small seed roll for your clovers and your vetches and such like, and a grass seed roll. And then we can put what we call a blue feed roll in, which will give you higher seed rates for your grassland if you're doing amenity work, 120, 130 kilos a hectare.
Yeah. Perfect. And have we got any sort of rough prices on this machine?
Yeah, the retail price on here is 24,470 on the 3 metre version, fully spec'd up like we see here. A 6 metre version starts off around about the 41, 42,000 mark.
Spot on. Jeffrey, as ever, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Sam.
Perfect.
Okay.
Right, ladies and gents, I'm now joined by, the Mayo Massive, really. It's the McHale boys, or man here. So, Kieran Hughes, how are we for a start?
Very good now, very good.
Good to be out.
Yeah, it is good to be out. It's nice
out
to
about the UK Dairy event.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to get out to the shows again and all that,
That's it. Bit of face-to-face action, see what's what.
Exactly.
There's only so many virtual events we can put up with.
Exactly. Yeah. So, the shows are very busy. We've done a good few of them at the moment, and it's unbelievable the amount of people that's gone out to them again,
Yeah. So, Kieran, just talk us through what's on the stand. Obviously, being the UK Dairy event, important market for the feeders and the bedders, which we're leaning on here. But obviously, you got the mower example here as well. So, if you just want to start off with this, what we're looking at, what we're leaning on here.
Yeah, C430, which is of course a 3-point linkage bedder. It will do silage. It'll do straw for bedding cattle.
Yeah.
We have now 4 models. We have a C430, which is this one here. We do 3 trails as well, which is a C460, or we see C470 and the C490. Of course, the C490 is the biggest machine we do.
That's the monster, is it?
That's the monster machine.
How many bales are we talking for that?
You'd be fitting, depending on if it's round bales or square bales. Square bales, you feel, depending on again the length of the square bale, you have no problem fitting 2 in there. Round bales 3, and 2 in the machine itself and 1 in the door.
Yeah.
It's got 2 floors on the C490. We're selling a lot of them to the bigger dairy lads, which have a lot of cattle and a lot of bedding.
That's it.
Some of them want to load just once.
Yeah, so they can just keep going.
Exactly.
Don't stop again.
Keep going. And then you get an odd fella, their farms are far away, so they want to put enough of bales in there to do the next farm. and then come back again. Like, you
That's
know, the C460 is a nice size of one machine because it's nicer for the smaller lads and stuff like that. But the key on these machines is that they will do silage as well as straw. Like, you know, so if somebody wants to bed cattle, but then if he wants to feed out pit silage or round bale silage, it will do that.
So you can literally stick any sort of silage in this, she'll tackle it.
Exactly, and the front end of the machine is the same if it's a 3-point linkage or a trailed or whatever it is. We don't de-spec from one to another. There's 56 blades in the rotor. The flywheel is separate from the rotor. There's you have a knife in the chute to keep the flywheel clean. Electric control box with the movable joystick on it as well. Very, very popular machine. Here as well, we've got a lot of inquiries for the mowers as well. Because again, with a lot of these dairy people, they want mow their own grass and want to mow it in the middle of the day when the sugar is at the
so you
top.
just keep control of it, innit?
Exactly. And a lot of these people would go out and do 100 plus acres in that day and milk in the morning and then mow it down. And then the contractor, whatever, may come in, or they might have their own equipment to do their own silage. So the mower market we're selling a lot of mowers now into customers that we didn't deal with before because they're foragers or they have wagons or whatever it is, like, you know. And we are, of course, are baler people.
So that's just opened up a few opportunities for you guys, has it?
Exactly, It's opened up an awful lot more doors for us.
Right.
And this machine also has done the same thing. It's opened up a lot of doors for us as well to people that we didn't deal with before, you know, which is good for everybody.
And then you mentioned it's you can do silage, you can do straw. Do you have to alter any gearing or anything like that, going from one to the other?
The only thing you have to do is if you're doing straw, you have the gearbox in the front in the high box, so you can fire the straw far. But if you're going to silage, then all you do is change the lever in the front in the gearbox, put it in the low box, that's it.
You just slow it down, that's it?
That's all it is, just a lever, you just slot it over to the left hand side, and that's all you have to do. So basically when she's in the high box, she's a true 540, and when you flip the lever to the left hand side, she's what they call a true 270. So the gearbox is just geared down to 270, and that's all you physically have to do.
That's it.
And nothing else. And he can vary the speed of the floor to suit whatever he's trying to do as much as he wants to put out. He can vary the comb, which keeps the bale off the rotor, all done from the control box. We did put a new control box on the machine as well, which is the same kind of idea as what you have in the wrappers. So you can do more variations if you want to do that, you know.
Okay, ideal.
The one thing McHale always does, and even on the bedders or even on the mowers or whatever it is they're full spec, like, you know. There's very, very little you can add onto the machine.
There's no poverty spec.
Exactly.
It's all
it's all
straight out the box.
Yeah, it's straight out of the box. It's got like these got all electronic controls, no cables, nothing like that. And your mowers are all standing with a direct drive gearbox for the conditioner, steel conditioner tie-ins, like the quick attach blades, the whole lot, just straight across the board.
Perfect. Well, Kieran, thank you very much for your little flavour of your stand there.
Yeah, no problem at all.
And no doubt we'll catch you around somewhere.
Yeah,
cheers,
no problem at all. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with the main man himself from Teagle, Mr. Tom Teagle. First of all, Tom, how are we doing? How's the show going for you?
The show's been really good, thank you.
Yeah?
Good, James. It's, enjoying ourselves. Loads of visitors. Great to see a good turnout at the event. Really pleased. Yeah,
so, right, let's get on to a bit of product chat, because that's what we're here for. Now, we're leaning on something that kind of looks like a regular round bale straw chopper. However, it's a little bit different. So, if you could just explain what's new about it.
Okay, so the bit that you're leaning on, there's not very much new about that. That's the beauty of this system. We get inquiries from all over the world now. We're looking at machines which are required for processing short straw, usually for TMR. So you get your low energy bulk fill, or maybe your effective fibre in the ration. It's got to be this precision chomp straw.
Avoid that sorting and...
Exactly, yeah. So that's fine, but if you want to have your commodity shed, everything set up nicely, then you don't want to tie a tractor up chopping straw all day. So more and more people, automated feeding systems, and they just want something they can push a button and go. So this is a new product for Teagle, launched at the UK Dairy Day. It's been tested through the summer. So what you've got here is half of the product. First half is electric conveyor. You drop your bale on, chop the strings, and then you press go.
Yeah, so round or square?
Round or square, anything goes in, yeah. You can select your screen size in the electric mill, so you can get everything from dust down to about 5mm, right up to your dairy ration mix, usually a 50mm screen. Press go, bales index forward into the drum, and it's all electric drive, so we're sensing how much power is required by the rotor.
Yeah.
If it's overloaded, we slow the drum down. If it's light on load, we speed it up, so it's optimizing itself.
So it's
all
just
the time.
completely self-regulating. You don't have to
Exactly.
just stand there all the time and feed it in manually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you've got an automated feeding system, then you may want to have 5-10 of these conveyor sections. You load it up once a week. Nice, clean, quiet operation. Don't disturb the farm.
Yeah.
And just press go whenever you need the straw on demand.
Ideal. So I can see down there it's got a big electric motor on it there. So what sort of power requirement are we talking for this?
This has been the most popular model so far. We've done a lot of research on this. We sell about 30 machines like this a year, which are converted into electric drive by our distributors around the world.
Okay.
So whether that's in Russia, Ukraine, South Africa, Germany, France, over in the States.
So you guys have finally made an official version.
This is the official version with the CE mark and all the other good stuff. Talking to all these guys, 30 kilowatt motor. You get 5 kilowatt motor to drive the drum round, a couple more kilowatts for the conveyors. So depending on the spec, you're talking around the 35 kilowatt
So it's not
requirement.
ginormous then.
It really isn't, and that's what you need to get your head around for this. We can put a 45 kilowatt motor on and get 4 tons an hour, but this is electric. Electric's there all the time. It's not tying up a person, so you just run it on tick over. So 2 tons an hour is loads. Low stress, nice and quiet, it's easy. So yeah, that's what we like. We think that's the future.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, I mean, we've kind of touched upon it already, but it will fit in sort of multiple scenarios and situations.
Yeah, so we think the TMR, the feed kitchen, that's the bulk of it.
Yeah.
However, we're talking about biomass. That is important as well. We can process miscanthus, other dry biomaterials. We just have a machine going to India to process sugarcane leaves. There's another for Israel, which is has rice straw. Really abrasive stuff, so that's got its own challenges.
Test it.
It certainly is, yeah, full of silica, really challenging. But biomass is another big one, and then we do have an optional booster fan. So you could sit this outside a poultry house, and we have a booster fan that will blow straw up to about 80 meters.
Right.
So you can wander around in the shed with your hose, bed it all down.
So literally via a pipe.
Exactly, yeah. So something a little bit different. It's all on video. Have a look on YouTube, and you'll see all these applications.
I'll check it out, everyone. Have you got any sort of rough prices on this?
So in the UK, if you have one conveyor section, the drum machine, a 30 kilowatt motor, and you just want to fire into a bunker, you're talking about £30,000 plus VAT on farm.
Right, perfect. Well, Tom, as ever, thank you very much for your time. That has been spot on, is that?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's
perfect.
Great.
Right, ladies and gents, now time for a bit of tech talk on the Keenan stand. So I'm now with Chris Lord, who's going to basically talk us through your latest development. So I mean, Chris, take it away. What have you been working on?
Okay, good. Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of developments in Alltech recently. One thing is the Intouch system. So this is our latest generation of Intouch controller. So this is a feed management system to fit on any make, model of mixer wagon out in the market.
Oh, so anything?
Anything,
right.
Yeah, any mixer wagon. If it's got weigh cells, we plug into them and we start work.
Right.
So basically the system is designed to get a consistent daily ration fed to the cows on the farm every day. So it's the box here is connected to the internet via a 4G modem and Wi-Fi. So we program diets remotely. They come across to the diet feeder box, ready for the operators to feed. So no matter who is loading the machine, they come to the box, pick which load they're going to feed, and they set off doing it. So it's a very easy to use system. Guides the operator to feed the correct diet for the correct number of animals in each pen every single day.
Just step through it.
Step through it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, very easy to use. we've launched a new Intouch app, which is basically an in-cab display of the controller.
Yeah.
That enables.
So this would be on the diet feeder.
This sits on the side of the diet feeder. Yeah.
And then for the loader guy or whoever it is or wherever they are, they can have an app.
Exactly. Yep. So they download a free app onto their tablet or mobile phone. That sits with them in the loader cab, and they just control it all from there.
Right. And the information that's on there, like you say, the diet requirements, number of head, which pen it is, which group it is, that'll come up on the app as well.
Everything comes up on the app, so it's all controlled through the app.
Right.
So if we need to make any changes to the diet or any tweaks, you can do that on the app as well.
Yeah.
If it's rained overnight and the dry matter of the forages has come down significantly, change that on the app as well, and it instantly updates the fresh weight you need to feed to the animals.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you. So in terms of people that can plan the diets and whatnot, obviously there's effectively the farm manager that can do it, and then can nutritionists get involved and things like that?
Yeah, so as Alltech nutritionists, we can do diet formulations, but we also work with many third-party nutritionists in feed companies or independent nutritionists as well. So this is all web-based, so each customer has a web portal, and as a consultant or a nutritionist, you would have your own login with all your clients on. A one-step login, brings up all your clients' data. You can change all the diet formulations wherever you are in the world. Gets sent directly to the weigh-backs on the feeder, ready to be fed straight away.
Yeah. So while they're on holiday with the feed tub, we can have a quick check and
absolutely,
quick update.
Yeah. I've had guys send me pictures. They're on the beach in Tenerife with the feet up with the iPad, programming a new ration for someone in Cumbria.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So everything that goes through the box here is recorded. So we're recording the kilos fed to each group of animals. With that comes the dry matter and the cost as well. That's all recorded for every single day. It comes across into our web portal, so we can click in and view for each pen of animals the feed cost per head, the dry matter intake per head, and such like. Then we actually bring in the performance data, so the milk yields and such like will come into our system every single day.
So that's fed back into your system then?
Yeah.
So you're not playing with two systems, juggling about, copy and pasting?
No, it's all automatic. Every single night there's an automatic transfer of milk data into the system. And in effect what that does is it basically shows you a graph each day showing your feed efficiency, feed conversion efficiency, your feed cost per litre, your margin per cow, and such like. So everything we do in terms of diet formulations, there's no hiding from it.
No.
We can see the performance from it, and if anything's going outside of set parameters or going the wrong way, it flags up a ticket in our office as a call to action.
So you can kind of set tolerances on you, like the performance, if it's dipping or peaking.
So the computers are analysing this data constantly.
Yeah.
And if they see deviations, flags a ticket for human intervention, to contact the farmer or the nutritionist.
Don't worry, sunshine.
to make a tweak to the diet. We make the tweak to the diet, goes directly back to the weigh box, ready to be fed, and we go again, track the performance again. What effect has it had on not only milk yield, fat protein, but has it been cost effective?
Like I say, all there, black and white, no hiding anymore.
No hiding from it, no.
No ad lib or anything like that.
No.
Perfect. Well, Chris, thank you very much for your time. It's been spot on, is that?
Yeah,
nice
thank you very much.
Right, boys and girls, if you've never met this fella before, it is Dan the Man, Mr. Dan Crow from Kubota Group.
That's me.
Looks after, well, what do you look after? Lots of things. Grassland type based stuff normally.
Basically anything to do with mowing, tedding, raking, and then following on the feeding and bedding of animals, basically.
So you make it and you dish it out as well.
That's the plan.
Pretty much. So obviously we're at UK Dairy Day, big focus on diet feeders and bedders, things like that. Obviously you've got your Silo King range, of which we've got one in the background here. So,
we have.
I mean, just talk us through this model that you've got with us.
This is the 2218 in 20 cube. It's one of a range of machines we make from about 8 cubic metres up to 45 cubic metres now in trailers and up to 32 cubic metres in self-propelled.
So you've got a fair old range now.
In reality, we've got something to suit almost every dairy farmer, and even goat farmers and stuff like that as well nowadays.
And this model here, this is what size is this one that you've got?
That's 20 cube.
That's 20 cube, is that?
That's part of a range, so you can have 22, 20 and 18 in that range.
Got it.
So there's floor pan, if you like, suits those three capacities.
Right, so you have sort of like a foundation machine you can just build on top
and then
of
we
that.
have a crossover, in this case the small end 18, so we have two 18s,
right,
wide and low, or narrow and high, and then on the top end we have a 22, so you can have this one would be a narrow and high 22, and the next one up would be a wide and low 22.
Right, so you got something for all buildings and doorways as well?
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That's it.
On a day-to-day basis, probably our biggest headache is suiting a machine to the prevailing conditions on the farm.
Yeah.
The easy bit is choosing the capacity. The discharge is most normally the most difficult piece. So yeah, and we have, I think it's about 32 different conveyors, so, and then about at least 6 or 8 different positions of that.
Yeah.
So when you multiply that up, the sort of the variances.
So when you're chatting to your customers trying to work out their needs, you really do have to work out their needs.
This particular machine is unique in feeding in the fact that it has a 4-pinion main drive.
Right.
So both the auger gearboxes in this machine, instead of having 3 pinions like a normal epicyclic, these have 4. Lots of advantages to that, of course. More gear teeth sharing the drive. Higher torque ratings. These are 52,000 Newton meters. So
52,000.
and a lorry wheel that is what, 400 Newton meters. So you imagine the torque. 52,000 is a crazy amount of torque. But it does need that, because when you have big horsepower on the front and you drop a bale in and you're basically trying to stop the whole driveline, so it needs that ability to handle torque.
That's it, I suppose it'll provide a fair bit of protection back to the tractor as well.
It's exactly that. The other advantage on this machine, you see the top of it, that's what we call the Flow Plus ring. In the past and traditionally we use a straw ring. The problem with the straw ring, even a floating straw ring, in bale use, the bale can go against the straw ring and literally become a solid mass that we're trying to force 7 or 9 knives through, and hence you get a massive torque loading on the driveline. The beauty of this Flow Plus, there is no obstruction, so the bale never gets stuck in one place, and hence you never see the massive torque increase.
Right, so it just keeps it moving, keeps it flowing as it's going.
Exactly that. And all this generation of machines have that Flow Plus. You can still have a floating straw ring if you want, but normally not needed.
I suppose then, working down then, running gear and things like that.
Running gear is one of those really interesting. When I started, machines were lucky to do a mile.
Yeah.
Nowadays we can see machines that do 30 and 40 miles a day, which is crazy amount. There's 2 problems with that. One is the weight, the overall weight of the machine, so hence you need heavy duty type running gear. These are on ADR axles. ADR are really the benchmark on the running gear. It doesn't get a lot better than that. The other issue you have when you're running, of course, distances, is consolidation of load. And hence the drive line needing to be bigger, because you've consolidated that load.
You've settled it at the other end, you've got to fire the thing back up again.
Especially if you're using starches, molasses, any of these type of materials, which naturally consolidate and naturally bind together, and then it's a massive job to actually start that machine without breaking a shear bolt or worse than that, some part of the driveline. Of course, the worst part to break is the tractor end. Exactly. So there's been a lot of work on that. In that we can actually now do that 2 ways. We can have a 4-speed gearbox on the front, shift on the fly. So we start.
Do you have to stop to change or anything like that?
No, and we start with the tractor PTO in gear with no turn on our epicyclics. So that's the first stage.
Yeah.
Then we can add the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So we have 4 speeds.
We just gradually build up.
Exactly.
Right.
And we also have a system where we can split the augers by a PTO clutch. So an electrically operated PTO clutch. It's called a soft start. So again, if we consolidate the load on a smaller tractor, instead of having a fancy gearbox, we split the load.
So it's half the load, basically.
As an advantage to that, when we've got difficult discharges, what was good at the start of the mix, so we mix till we think the mix is right. The problem if you have difficult discharges with awkward reverses and things like that, you can end up over processing the load.
Yeah, by the time you've shunted about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we do is we basically split the drive, use the front half, the rear half isn't being mixed at all, and then we introduce the
when you're ready.
Exactly that. So it's another way of looking at the same problem.
Yeah.
Another is the data type
I was going
things.
to say, the technology side of it.
Massively into feed management now. When I first started in feeding, it's longer than I care to talk about, but nobody had feed management. 60-70% of our machines go out now with feed management. So,
right.
And I was talking to somebody yesterday who works for Arla, and they're massively into reducing the CO2 loading from the cows. And one of the ways you can do that is efficiency of feeding, knowing what you feed, knowing your accuracy of feeding, of course. Building that into maybe kitchen type systems where you know, store cupboard type systems where you know what you've got, what you've used.
Well, Dan, we could sit here for hours, mainly because we've got comfy and the management has brought us a brew, so we're all right for the next 10 minutes. But yeah, Dan, as ever, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers.
Spot on, good to be out.
Yeah, weird to be out.
So, but yeah, we'll catch you again next time. We'll see what else what you're up to.
Thank you very much.
Marvellous. Right, Mr. Richard Evans, or Tricky, as you're more commonly known to every man and his dog.
It's not the best name for a salesman, but
that's
there we
it,
go.
Tricky salesman. That's it. So, for those of you who don't know, this is Richard Evans from Battlefield Machinery,
That's
and
me.
you're sharing a corner of Cumberland Group stand today.
Yeah.
So, for those that don't know you or Battlefield Machinery, whereabouts are you actually based then?
So we're about 10 miles down the road in Shrewsbury. We started the business 4.5 years ago in an old New Holland dealership depot with Kubota and Cumberland, and that's pretty much our bread and butter.
That's it, that's your two main franchises, is it?
Yeah, and we probably do a bit of Marshall and Browns, but pretty much it's
that's
just
your two
the
main ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're sat on one of your machines that you guys sell, so
Yes.
what model's this?
So this is a 1452L series. This is one of what we either call a scraper special or a cowshed Kubota.
Cowshed Kubota,
yeah.
That. So with the package then, what do you get?
So on the front we put a bit of a bull bar that's can be sold into safari park, push a rhino around or something like that. But yeah, it's designed for our high-end 1,000 cow dairy farm where
nudge out the way.
Yeah. Well, I think basically what we see a lot of the time, we went and watched what was happening to them to get them so beat up really, and pretty much they'll drive them down the scrape passage. They'll go from forward to reverse. The wheels will be spinning. They'll still be going that way. Hit the nudge bar, gain some traction, and then go back.
Right.
Yeah. So we thought, right, we'll build a bull bar.
Yeah.
We put some front fenders on it, which is all incorporated into the bull bar.
So there'll be fixed fenders and they'll
fixed fenders. Yeah. They're all four-wheel drive because of the pivotal steering axle on these Kubotas. You can disengage them, but they turn like a two-wheel drive. The locks awesome.
These will be is it portal axles?
It is, yeah.
They'll be fully sealed, are they?
Yeah.
So they'll be well up for this job.
Yeah. If they can work in a paddy field, they'll work in a
submerged.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we think. And they are very reliable, to be fair. Probably 4,000 or 5,000 hours. Probably have to do the bearings in them, but that's not too bad, is it?
No,
really?
not really. Not after 4,000 hours, whatever.
Your normal Fergie scraper tractor will have done a few wheel bearings in that time, like.
Yeah.
I think we just sent one of these out 7 weeks ago. One of the lads popped to it the other day. It's done 750 hours. I have one on a 19 plate that's done 7,500 hours.
So they're getting up there.
Yeah, it's pedalling on.
That's it.
Not touch a transmission either.
No,
we haven't genuinely.
You haven't touched one?
No, not touch a transmission.
And like I say, this is the hydro, isn't
Hydro,
it?
yeah.
What is it? Just one pedal, rocky
So it's one
backwards and
pedal,
forwards?
rock and roll. Free range hydrostat on the left-hand side. We do limit the engine revs, and we limit the forward speed for the higher usage man. Right. So we limit the forward speed to about 11k, and we think that way, from them going that fast from forward to reverse, we're prolonging the life of the hydro.
You're looking after the transmission a bit more.
Yeah.
Got you. And then I suppose around the back end, what sort of lift capacity on these things?
So like 1250, 600 mil behind the hook ends basically. So they'll cope with a box scraper, 7-foot box scraper, or max scrape, mega scraper, whoever's selling it to you.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then chuck a dispenser on it, have your airframe, swap around.
Yeah. We even do I haven't got one today, just one phase 3 or prototype version. We've made a few with mid-mounted curb brushes, so basically the frame that's down there is made in a box section. So we can slide that out and put a mid-mount curb brush in the middle here, so it folds up on the side. So obviously you can go down and scrape and brush your curbs at the same time.
So scrape, brush, dispense, bed up.
Yeah.
Swiss Army Kubota now, is it?
That's it. Put some extra fenders on here. LED lighting, because everyone's got to have LED lights these days.
Even when no one's watching, you've got to have LEDs.
Exactly.
Spot on. Can you get cabs for these as well?
You can. So basically on a Kubota, if it's got a 1 in front of it, the vast majority of the time, it'll be the cabless version. And then basically add a 2 in front of it. It's either a higher spec or it has a cab.
Right.
They would drop them down a bit, actually be on 4-inch smaller wheels on the back, so be on 20s instead of 24s. But they all come with aircon. They do another model, 50 horsepower more in the same version of this, goes up onto a 28-inch wheel on the back.
Right.
A little bit bigger, 100 kilo more lift on the back. But they come with a spool valve, you can put extra spool valves on them. But this is really the start of the agricultural tractors, not a ground care tractor really. But no, we're dead chuffed with them really. Yeah.
Spot on, he looks the part. Feels like you're going to go on safari in a minute.
Yeah, I know, yeah. We might invest in a pipe bender instead of a press at one point.
Nice one. Well, Tricky, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Spot on.
Cheers.
So, David, UK Dairy Day 2021. Good to be out, got to be said. I think that's what most people are saying.
Nearly feels like normal, James.
Nearly?
Yeah, nearly. Lots of people here, lots of good customers, lots of good contacts. It's been a really good day.
Right, so, I mean, for you guys, SG Equipment Finance, when you come to an event like this, what are your what are your goals really? What are your aims here? What do you get up to is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think it's, I think as you've said before in previous articles, you know, we're a real good secret because of our route to market. We're not seen as front runners in terms of visiting customers. We go through a broker-led strategy, and it's good to get out and just get people to see what they would recognise on a set of rugby sticks as being a live company.
That's it.
And an important funder and a really willing funder in terms of the agricultural industry.
That's it. And what sort of, who are the sort of type of people you're sort of meeting today and chatting to?
Yeah, manufacturers, you know, all under one roof, which is really useful to see. New developments in the industry, end user customers who recognise us as a brand on a piece of paper and want to come and say, you know, we've got an agreement with us, and you know, it's always nice to press the flesh and show the face of the people behind the business.
Well, that's it. And I think with this, with the pandemic, and I think we've all kind of had enough virtual sort of shows and events, and it's got to have something physical and get back out there.
And it's been in a safe environment. You know, the doors are being open, there's plenty of fresh air flying, aircon's on. You know, it's been as normal as you could be, I think, which is good.
That's it. So, yeah, I mean, overall today, I'll, you know, sum it up.
Yeah, thanks to you, thanks for your support, thanks for
thanks for customers.
Having me. Yeah, thanks thanks for having me, and thanks for the customers that have contributed to you know, to our development through the year, and the manufacturers that we work with. And hope everybody's had a good day at the show.
That's it. And if you guys haven't seen already, we've done one video so far with you guys, basically a profile piece.
Yep.
That we did with Stephen Davis.
Yeah.
Not the snooker
Just
player.
got to get round to Société Générale Equipment Finance, James, and we're all right.
Well, that's it. Yeah, we can. We'll pronounce it eventually properly. Then we've got some top tips and some myth busting coming up as well.
Yes, correct.
And then no doubt we'll have a bit more from you guys.
Excellent.
As well.
Look forward to it.
That's it. Spot on. Right, into chocolates and.
There's not many left, James.
I'm going to say I've been a bit late to biting.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Great.